A rich girl from Beijing's elite circle, trying to escape her family's marriage pressure, offered me 10 million to pretend to be her boyfriend for a day. Just as I was happily agreeing, a red sports car slowly pulled up. Huo Niannian recognized the owner of the car. You're in luck. The first person you'll meet is my second sister. She's always been popular with men. She probably won't give you a hard time, but for the past 6 months or so, she's been kind of moody and unpredictable. I've heard she got played by some guy emotionally, and in the end she still got dumped. She's been searching for him everywhere. As I listened, I froze. It just felt weirdly familiar. No way, right? Beijing is huge. I can't be so unlucky as to walk right into this myself. The Bentley's window slowly rolled down. For a moment, I didn't have time to think. I grabbed Gu Niannian and pulled her in front of me. Li Chen, what the hell are you doing? Are you trying to get yourself killed? She couldn't do anything about me for the moment. According to the plan, she was supposed to pretend to play along with my act. Right now, there was no need to pretend at all. The red sports car's window rolled down. It was unmistakably the Huo family's second daughter, Huo Xiaoxiao. Huo Xiaoxiao caught sight of the scene inside the car. She was a little taken aback. My little sister brings a guy home for the first time and they're just chatting in the car right outside the house. This guy is way too casual about it. My sister has never been in a relationship before. She might have run into a player without even realizing it. Niannian's all grown up now, knows how to find a boyfriend. Just be careful and protect yourself. Don't just blindly take their advice, and be safe when you're out. Don't bring him back home. Second sister, a Chen isn't some random shady guy. He's my future husband. I'm going to marry him. You're going to marry him. Sometimes the more you push back, the more it backfires. When she gets tired of him, maybe she'll break it off on her own. If it really comes to marriage, the Huo family has plenty of tough characters. I don't need to be the one to play the bad guy and break them up. Alright, I'll just pretend I didn't see anything. Take him to your place first. Don't bring him into the Huo house yet. Just as Huo Xiaoxiao was about to leave, and I was about to breathe a sigh of relief, Huo Niannian shouted in the woman's direction. Second, sister, I know in my heart whether a Chen is worthy or not. What did you call him? Does he even deserve that name? Huo Xiaoxiao's heart pounded, her voice slightly strained. Tell him to turn around and let me see. I didn't look closely before, but now I realize his build looks exactly like my Chen. This can't be Chen, but what if it is? I have to make sure. Chen. This is my second sister. Say hello. Huo Niannian found her second sister's behavior strange, but didn't dwell on it. She signaled for me to look up, but the next moment, I tickled her right on her sensitive spot. She burst into laughter. Chen, stop it. Realizing she'd lost composure in front of her second sister, Huo Niannian pinched the man's waist hard. I winced in pain but stubbornly refused to look up. Second, sister, Chen is a bit shy. How about you head back first? I'll formally introduce him to you tomorrow. Huo Xiaoxiao, having been through it herself, immediately misunderstood. She gripped the steering wheel tightly and got straight out of the car. Ignoring her sister's words, she opened the door to force an inspection. Hearing the car door open, I trembled all over. I frantically reached out and poked Huo Niannian hard. Knowing Huo Xiaoxiao's temperament, she probably wouldn't give up easily. I could only count on Huo Niannian to stop her now. Second sister, my boyfriend is pretty shy. What are you doing? Huo Xiaoxiao froze in place. My mistake. I'm sorry. The next moment, Huo Xiaoxiao shut the car door and gave up on the idea of checking. Since you've chosen him, and you're already at the doorstep, plus it is raining tonight, let him stay the night. Huo Niannian was taken aback. She knew that while the Huo family estate wasn't as grand as the main compound, it was where the four sisters had grown up together. Anyone allowed to stay overnight here, regardless of the relationship, had passed the first step of acceptance. Didn't second sister really dislike Li Chen just a moment ago? Why the sudden approval? But my original plan was to have Li Chen stay the night anyway. Since second sister isn't stopping it, I don't need to waste any more words. Huo Xiaoxiao was already in the car ready to leave. Second sister, aren't you coming home? I just remembered I still have something to take care of. I won't be back tonight. Huo Niannian vaguely sensed something was off, but couldn't quite put her finger on it. Just as she was about to look away, her pupils suddenly contracted. Second sister, you reversed into it. Before the words even finished, she watched helplessly as the sports car slammed into a streetlight. A second later, the sports car suddenly swerved in an arc and vanished into the vast rainy night. A crash like that. Is she really my second sister? Reversing into a streetlight, such a basic, inexplicable mistake, and it happened to her. When second sister was young, she was extremely rebellious, always chasing thrills. Racing was one of them. She took part in countless dangerous competitions, big and small, so, reversing into a streetlight, for her that is practically a fairy tale. Once Huo Xiaoxiao was gone, I finally didn't have to play ostrich anymore and looked up. What lousy driving, lousy in every way. What did you say? Before I could answer, she suddenly remembered something. Let go of your hand now. What is the matter, miss? Just gonna use me and toss me aside? Li Chen, have you no shame at all? How could you do that to a girl? She said this while frantically pulling out a wet wipe, scrubbing hard at her shoulder and around her ear. The neck that had been touched from the force she used quickly turned red. Miss. Don't forget about your little hand too. Hua Nianian froze mid-motion and shot me a fierce glare. She actually grabbed a fresh tissue and started wiping her fingers. Li Chen, I really want to strangle you, how dare you. My originally teasing expression stiffened slightly. Miss Nianian, what is your second sister's name? Why are you asking that? Hua Nianian instantly got upset. Li Chen, my second sister is still hung up on her ex-boyfriend. It is no use trying to hit on her. I just felt like the unluckiest guy alive from the moment I ran into Hua Nianian tonight to agreeing to pretend to be her boyfriend. It was all spur of the moment. Who would have thought that I'd end up walking straight into the lion's den with no way out? Her name's Hua Xiao, right? I asked just to be absolutely sure. Li Chen, don't forget your place. Even if my second sister got dumped, that doesn't mean she has zero standards. She would never go for a guy like you. Then she added another warning. And right now, you're supposed to be my boyfriend. My second sister and I are really close. She'll keep her distance from you, so just forget about it. Seeing that she didn't deny it, the last shred of hope I was clinging to finally died for good. I should have dug a little deeper before dumping her so fast. I honestly never imagined Huo Xiao was the second daughter of the Huo family empire, Hua Nianian's second sister. If I'd known that earlier, there is no way I would have ever taken Huo Nianian's deal. I steadied myself and said, "Fourth miss. I'm backing out of this deal." Hua Nianian froze. What did you say? I cleared my throat. Tonight's little performance is on the house. Find someone else for the rest. Besides, your second sister didn't get a good look at my face anyway. Money is valuable, but freedom is worth more. While Huo Xiao still hasn't recognized me, I just want to cut this off clean and avoid any unnecessary trouble. No way, you have to stay the night. Hua Nianian grabbed my arm and shook it. If you stay, I'll agree to anything you want. Please. I rubbed my temples. Fourth miss, I'm afraid that is not possible. She cut me off again. Li Chen, you think you have a choice? Hua Nianian let go of my arm, her rich girl arrogance on full display. You think just because things went smoothly, you can jack up the price? Guys like you have no bottom line talking about on the house. You're clearly just trying to get more. So tell me, what do you want? I felt completely drained just thinking about Huo Xiao gave me a headache. It is not about the money. Double it. I went quiet all of a sudden. Still not enough. Huo Xiao's already gone. She won't be back tonight. Only a fool would turn down easy money, right? I'll just steer clear of Huo Xiao from now on and help Hua Nianian win over her crush as soon as possible. Having figured it all out, I asked obsequiously, Miss Fourth, can you pay me daily? Hempish, Li Chen, you really are greedy. Listen here, you'd better not let anyone see through this, or I definitely won't let you off easy. This money is nothing to me, but if word gets out that I spent all this just to hire a man to put on an act, people will laugh and call me a sucker. And besides the necessary acting, keep your distance from me in private. If you dare take advantage of me again without permission, I definitely won't let you get away with it. After hearing the woman out, I blurted out, Hua Nianian, have you never been in a relationship before? Shut up. The girl, embarrassed and furious, huffily kicked me out of the car. Soon servants with umbrellas came crowding around. Seeing people approach, the girl instantly changed her demeanor and tightly linked her arm with mine and walked with me into the estate. Meanwhile, the red sports car that should have been long gone had silently turned back at that very moment. Hua Nianian haughtily made her stance clear. Li Chen is my boyfriend. Since I've brought him home, that means I accept him. Treat him exactly the way you normally treat us. After all, even I can't bear to let him be wronged. If anyone upsets him, you'll face the consequences. Somehow, in that moment, aside from feeling a bit awkward, I inexplicably felt like an advisor to an ancient princess. It wasn't until I was lying alone in the bathtub that I could finally relax. I slowly let out a sigh of relief. With a click, I heard someone open the bathroom door. I didn't think much of it, just assumed it was a servant bringing clothes. Just leave the clothes there and go out. No one responded after I spoke, only the crisp sound of high heels stepping closer and closer to the tub. As if sensing danger, a shiver suddenly ran through my body. Just as I was about to sit up, a woman's soft small hand reached out right in front of my face. Long time no see, hubby. It really is Hua Xiao. Did she recognize me back in the car? No wonder she warned Hua Nianian not to let me stay overnight at the Huo estate at first, then suddenly changed her mind and allowed it. It was all to corner me at her place. My ex-girlfriend is as calculating as ever. Yeah. Long time no see. But Hua Xiao, we broke up a long time ago. You should change how you address me. The word breakup seemed to remind Huo Xiao of something. Her voice dropped to freezing. We broke up. When did that happen? I never agreed to it. I explained patiently. For the record, a breakup only needs to be stated. It doesn't require the other person's consent. After hearing the man's words drawing a clear line, a flicker of losing control showed in Hua Xiao's eyes. Honey, you're so heartless. I'm really angry. Huo Xiaoxiao's emotions were hard to decipher. Chen, we've been apart for 193 days. Don't you miss me at all? I don't. Just as I started to speak, she suddenly leaned down and kissed me. But honey, I miss you so much it hurts. Honey, you really had me searching hard for you. Facing Huo Xiaoxiao's sudden craziness, I knew very well that if I didn't stop her, things would spiral out of control. Even when we were dating, I never indulged her, and that is especially true now. I bit her lip directly, then I raised my hand and pushed her away. Huo Xiaoxiao touched her lip and looked at me with a pitiful expression. Huo Xiaoxiao, have you lost your mind? Get it straight. I'm not just your ex-boyfriend. I'm also your sister's boyfriend. Who knows? I might even have to call you second sister in the future. Sure enough, as soon as I played the Huo Nianian card, Huo Xiaoxiao's body stiffened abruptly. I grabbed a nearby bath towel and draped it over her head. By the time she lifted the towel, I had already gotten out of the bathtub and put on my bathrobe. Huo Nianian asked persistently, "Why, Li Chen? I need an explanation. You owe me an explanation." Then, how about you explain something to me first? How did you go from being a waitress to the second daughter of the Huo family? Huo Xiaoxiao froze for a moment. You blocked me and broke up with me unilaterally just because of my identity. Some memories flashed through my mind at an awkward time. When I first met Huo Xiaoxiao, she was hiding her identity as the second daughter of the Hu family, but this girl working to pay off debts happened to have top-tier looks and figure. Plenty of rich guys threw money at her, but she turned them all down. So my first impression of her was that she had some backbone. As it happened, I lost a game of truth or dare and had to confess to someone. I casually stopped Huo Xiaoxiao. I thought she would say no, just like she did with every other guy. But to everyone's surprise, she said yes, and just like that we started dating. I took care of the daily expenses, and she was supposed to take care of me. But as we spent more time together, I gradually noticed some odd things about my so-called broke girlfriend. For example, she was supposedly in debt, yet she wasn't in a hurry to work and just revolved her life around me. Occasionally, luxury items would appear on her. Another example, when I asked her to order takeout, she had no clue how. Once she learned, she'd forget to use the coupons every single time. Does that make any sense? 5 point. Does that make any sense? All these red flags made me put my guard up. Out of a sense of self-preservation, I stopped investing more of my feelings. I did think about whether to break up, but I eventually dismissed the idea. I had gotten used to Huo Xiaoxiao's company. A top-tier woman like Huo Xiaoxiao would be very hard to come by again, as long as she didn't cross my bottom line. I didn't want to deliberately dig into her secrets. Living in this world, who doesn't have a secret or two? Until the eve of Huo Xiaoxiao's birthday, I happened to be walking down the street and saw her from a distance stepping out of a Cullinan. Behind the Cullinan was a whole line of luxury cars. A group of people got out of those luxury cars and they all centered around Huo Xiaoxiao. They walked into an upscale club like a moon surrounded by stars. Honestly, my first thought wasn't that Huo Xiaoxiao was a rich kid, but that she might have fallen into something shady. When I found the private room where Huo Xiaoxiao was, the door happened to be left slightly ajar. Xiao, aren't you taking this act a little too far? Only you could pull this off, Xiao. Even pretending to be some broke girl, you still have a guy head over heels in love with you. He is even willing to pay your way. That Li Chen guy isn't exactly rolling in money, yet he has still been supporting you all this time. He is so hopelessly in love. Pathetic. He has no idea that the little money he gives you can't even cover a single sip of your drink. You're incredible, Xiao. We thought a guy like Li Chen would have too much pride, but the moment you made your move, he was all in, willing to live a hard life with you. We admit total defeat. Ha ha ha. Huo Xiaoxiao said flatly. It is still too early to call it. He hasn't asked me to marry him yet. Xiao, are you really going to propose to him on your birthday? It is just an act. It is not like I'd actually marry him. Vain social climbing guys are always the best at faking it. With the identity I'm using now, if he is willing to come up with a huge bride price to marry me, only then do I win the bet. Huo Xiaoxiao lowered her eyes, looking more and more indifferent. Seeing her like this, everyone exchanged uneasy glances, all arriving at the same suspicion. Xiao, you haven't actually fallen for Li Chen, have you? Just a door away, I stood quietly watching this girlfriend of mine who'd been playing poor in front of me. I was a little curious about her answer too. The next moment, Huo Xiaoxiao spoke without a second's hesitation. Ha, as if a guy like him would ever deserve that. A flicker of annoyance crossed her gentle, pretty face. I'm just not done playing with him yet. You guys have no idea. On the surface, he is all polite and gentlemanly. In reality, he is as cold as a block of ice. Peace. The slightest thing doesn't go his way and he gives me the cold shoulder. I even have to waste my energy coaxing him. Does he seriously think I'm his lapdog? The key thing is he is still lukewarm towards me even now. I've wasted so much time on him. I can't swallow this frustration. No one dared to say a word. After 2 minutes of silence, someone broke the quiet. They started tearing into me. Those women watching coldly from the sidelines all wore smug expressions. I turned around and left. So, Meeting Huo Xiaoxiao from the very beginning was just an elaborately planned trap. She is a rich heiress, not the broke girl I thought she was. I was just her so-called plaything. Huh. In her eyes, I'm just a social climbing opportunist to be tossed aside the moment she gets bored. I thought I'd already seen the worst the world has to offer, but I never imagined Huo Xiaoxiao could be this twisted. I'm just thankful I'm not some naive do-gooder facing my girlfriend's betrayal. I wouldn't be utterly heartbroken. The most ridiculous part, that very night when she got home, she was gently stroking my ring finger, almost as if she was measuring it for a ring. She really commits to the act. This woman's acting skills are truly top-notch. So, she wants to play games. Fine, I'll play along to the very end. The day before her birthday, I sweet-talked her saying I had a surprise. That night, I gave her a strong dose of melatonin. Then I dumped her fast asleep on the street. Huo Xiaoxiao, this should be a birthday gift you'll never forget. After that, I left that heartbreaking city behind and moved to the capital where my childhood friend lives. I knew perfectly well that with a ruthless rich girl like Huo Xiaoxiao, if you're going to dump her you have to do it completely. So before I boarded the plane, I blocked her, deleted my accounts, and vanished from her world entirely. The one thing I never expected, Huo Xiaoxiao actually isn't just some ordinary rich kid. She is the second daughter of the Hu family conglomerate in Jing City. I accidentally walked right into the lion's den. What incredibly bad luck. Chen, answer me. Seeing that I was distracted, Huo Xiaoxiao grew a bit irritated. She directly took hold of my arm. I snapped back to reality, staring intently into her eyes. She asked me, a little confused, Chen, I was pretending to be poor, not pretending to be rich. Shouldn't you be happy? Then, as if a thought struck her, she asked again, or did someone tell you something they shouldn't have? What are you referring to? I answered her question with a question. Huo Xiaoxiao's jaw tightened. At first I approached Chen because of that bet. After Chen disappeared, I interrogated everyone. I made sure no one was foolish enough to leak the secret, and so, I never could figure out why Chen dumped me so heartlessly. I could tell right away that Huo Xiaoxiao still didn't know. I had overheard her conversation with those women. I had no intention of exposing her either. Rehashing the reasons for a breakup with an ex is pointless anyway. Besides, Huo Xiaoxiao has been in a position of power for too long. If I exposed her unsightly side, what would I get? An apology. She would most likely just get angry out of embarrassment. A relationship tainted with deception from the start was flawed from the very beginning, since it couldn't last. It was time to cut my losses. I brushed her off with a casual remark, my tone indifferent. To you, I was just a defective product. Huo Xiaoxiao stared at me with burning intensity, her eyes seeming to hold a thin layer of mist. I took a step forward and sat down on the edge of the bathtub. I wonder if Miss Huo II has ever heard the saying. I looked at her with a smile on my face, but the words I spoke were increasingly cold and cutting. A good ex should be like they're dead. Thank you, Miss Huo II, for condescending, slumming it to play a love game with me. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you're not a sore loser, Miss Huo. The mist in Huo Xiaoxiao's eyes gathered. Then, I guess I am a sore loser, he murmured softly, a faint hint of losing composure. I didn't say anything more, and the bathroom fell into silence for a moment. Break up with my sister. Huo Xiaoxiao's words shattered the silence. In just a short span of time, he had reined in all his emotions, returning to his usual arrogant and willful self. Little Four is young, and for you she is just a passing novelty. You two aren't on the same path. You should cut your losses with her. As his words faded, I looked up at him. Huo Xiaoxiao's cool gaze held a trace of stubbornness. Ah, Chen, my sister and I are not the same. You shouldn't have gotten involved with her. The woman was scrutinizing me, her words both a reminder and a warning. The door to the Huo family is not one you can enter through her. She can't protect you. Compared to the Huo Xiaoxiao who once humbly waited on me, this cool and rational Miss Huo in front of me gave me a sense of dissonance. Truly, a wealthy heiress. That fake poor girl persona from the past was long gone. This tough demeanor now was the real her. Then when I feel like I can't handle it anymore, I'll just break up then. I curled the corner of my lip, feigning a hint of sweetness. I believe no matter what happens, she would never hurt me. But you don't need to worry about it, Miss Huo. Huo Xiaoxiao dug her nails into her palm. The emotions she had barely managed to suppress were easily stirred back up by me. Why weren't you like this when you were dating me? She simply let herself go and sat down beside me. Honey, what is so great about that little brat? Can she understand you better than I can? I couldn't quite read what he was thinking. How? Is Miss Huo II trying to steal her little sister's man? I'm the one whose man got stolen. Huo Xiaoxiao looked at me with a pout, a hint of grievance in her eyes. You were my boyfriend first, and then his boyfriend. Hearing this, I frowned deeply. The woman leaned her head directly against my shoulder. I pushed her head away. Huo Xiaoxiao, have some shame. Honey, after you dumped me asleep on the street, what dignity do I have left? Huo Xiaoxiao's eyelashes fluttered lightly. The grievance in her tone seemed to solidify and hit me right in the heart. A flicker of guilt crossed my mind. Would this woman try to get revenge on me? I remembered that day I had left her in the busiest part of the town square. I couldn't imagine how many people must have stared at her that day, or how it all ended. Thankfully, a knock on the door sounded just then. Huo Nianian's voice rang out. Chen. Are you done with your shower? I was desperate to escape this mess, but Huo Xiaoxiao grabbed my wrist. Honey, what do you think? If little Four walked in on us like this, would she break up with you? I glanced down and caught the thick cunning in the woman's eyes. If I told little Four that you deliberately seduced me, who do you think she'd believe, her second sister or you? After her shower, Huo Nianian waited for quite a while, but I still hadn't come out. During that time, she opened her group chat with her girlfriends. They were all asking about her progress. Nianian, if you can't find the right guy, I can help. Sis Nianian. When my cousin heard about it, he kept pestering me saying he'd do it for free. I sent you his photo. Think about it. I gotta say, what kind of lousy ideas are these? Can this really work? Huo Nianian replied, I picked a guy from Nightfall. So far, it is going smoothly. My second sister has already met him. She seems to really dislike him. Everyone in the group is a night owl. As soon as he showed up, the chat got lively again. Why did I even come? I miss Huo II. Have seen all kinds of men. I can definitely tell at a glance that he is not a decent guy. Nianian. Is this guy clean? Be careful, you're not being set up. You don't want some scandal to blow up later. No way. Our little Fourth is still single, no matter what happens. She is only saving herself for that campus heartthrob. Speaking of the heartthrob, he is something else too. Nianian has confessed to him 99 times already. Why won't he just say yes? If it were me, I'd have given up long ago. I wouldn't put in as much effort as Nianian does. Right? Even a stone would have warmed up by now. You didn't know. The poorer someone's background, the stronger their pride. The status gap with little Fourth is just too big. It is understandable he'd refuse to date her. Isn't that exactly what little Fourth admires about him? But we really should make sure. Does the school beauty actually like little Fourth or not? Tomorrow little Fourth should bring the guy to school. Let's see how the heartthrob reacts. That way, Nianian's feelings won't be wasted on someone who doesn't care. All that effort would be for nothing. At this point in the chat, Huo Nianian put away her phone, a bit annoyed. She realized I still hadn't come out. She completely lost her patience and went to ask a servant, has Li Chen been in there this whole time? Yes, Mr. Li hasn't come out at all. He has been inside the entire time. Yeah, exactly. The servant didn't dare look Huo Nianian in the eye, looking like she wanted to say something but couldn't. Huo Nianian pressed her lips together. Something felt off in her heart. What is it? Spit it out. Well, I think I just saw the second young lady. She seemed to go into Mr. Li's room. In an instant, Huo Nianian looked shocked. What did you say? Second sister is back, and she went into Lycan's room. The servant nodded. Huo Nianian came to my door completely baffled. She had barely knocked a few times when the door suddenly swung open from inside. Then I walked out wearing a white bathrobe, my face dark and sullen. I walked up to her to complain. She barged in and watched me shower. Huo Nianian shot me a look of disbelief. Then she caught a glimpse of her second sister stepping out of the bathroom. A blush spread across her cool, composed face. Second sister, didn't you leave because you had something to do? Why are you suddenly back? And why did you barge into a Chen's bathroom? Huo Nianian asked out loud. To avoid letting him see through anything, she linked her arm through mine. Any other woman seeing a girl walk out of her boyfriend's room would have already gotten jealous and made a scene, but Huo Nianian thought differently. This had to be an accident. After all, for the past 6 months, second sister had been like a completely different person. Not a single man around her. Her mind entirely on that ex-boyfriend who dumped her. Besides, second sister doesn't even know this is the boyfriend I hired. Even if only for my sake, she would keep things appropriate. Nothing shady would have happened. I got a call halfway there, took care of it, and came back. Had a little to drink, feeling a bit dizzy. Forgot you brought your boyfriend home. Accidentally walked into the wrong room. Huo Nianian didn't suspect a thing. Instead, she put on her full lovesick act. I knew you didn't do it on purpose, second sister. Chen, you heard her too. Second sister didn't do it on purpose. Can we just forgive her this once? I looked completely speechless. The fourth daughter of the Hu family is such a little fool. I nodded helplessly. Okay, but I need Miss Huo II to promise me that this won't happen again. Huo Nianian looked expectantly at Huo Xiaoxiao. It won't happen again, right? Huo Xiaoxiao's gaze fixed on me, whose back was turned to him. He didn't say anything. Second sister, might as well play the part all the way, Huo Nianian urged. A hint of pleading showed on her face. It won't happen again. Hemp. Yeah, right. Knowing his stubborn nature, I was well aware he wouldn't let me off that easily. Just as I was thinking that, Huo Nianian suddenly asked, Second sister, is your mouth bleeding? My heart immediately skipped a beat, remembering how Huo Xiaoxiao had just forced a kiss on me in the bathroom. My fist suddenly clenched, my biggest trump card right now. is my identity as Huo Nianian's boyfriend. So what I feared most was that Huo Xiaoxiao didn't really care that much about Huo Nianian as his sister and would bluntly say that I was the ex-boyfriend who dumped him. If that happened, Huo Nianian would definitely confess that I'm just a boyfriend she hired and hand me back to Huo Xiaoxiao, plunging me into an abyss of misery. I backed the car up too hastily earlier and hit a lamppost. My tooth cut my lip. Luckily, between her ex-boyfriend and her sister, Huo Xiaoxiao sided with the latter. I quietly breathed a sigh of relief. I was definitely overthinking things. To Huo Xiaoxiao, not being able to let go of me, her ex-boyfriend, wasn't because of deep feelings, but because of her wounded pride and desire to conquer. As the trophy of his bet, I vanished right when he was about to win. How could he ever be okay with that? Of course, no matter how much it stings, I'm just a man. I can't compare to his sister. In other words, as long as I'm Huo Nianian's boyfriend, I'll be safe for another day. Second, sister, with your driving skills, making a rookie mistake like that. I really should have grabbed my phone and recorded it, sent it to the sisters group chat. Let eldest and third sister enjoy the show. Huo Nianian teased with a mischievous grin. Huo Xiaoxiao glanced at me and said nothing. I guiltily touched my nose and said, Nianian, I'm getting sleepy. Let's go to bed. Huo Nianian instantly blushed, fighting back her embarrassment. She stole a glance at her second sister. Well, second sister, we'll turn in for the night then. Her normally cool and distant second sister now had a face full of gloom, barely holding it together. Looking at Huo Xiaoxiao like this, Huo Nianian thought this money was so worth it. I really picked the right guy. At this rate, it won't be long before second sister can't stand Li Chen anymore and reaches the point where as long as it is not Li Chen, anyone else is fine. Huo Xiaoxiao's chest ached with frustration, watching helplessly as Huo Nianian wrapped her arm around mine, ready to head to the room. She hesitated for a moment, then spoke up anyway. Wait a minute. Huo Nianian was agonizing over where to put me once we got to the bedroom. What do I do? What do I do? The master bedroom only has one bed and he is just a fake boyfriend. There is no way I can let him get into bed with me. I have someone I love, and Li Chen's identity makes my skin crawl. Just at that moment, Huo Xiaoxiao spoke up. Fourth sister, let him stay in the guest room tonight. Gu Nianian heard this the moment she turned around. Huo Xiaoxiao knew deep down this wasn't appropriate, but she had to grit her teeth and make up an excuse. I just remembered something I need to discuss with you. You have to admit, to a certain extent, the two sisters cleverly reached a consensus, solving their respective problems. Oh, okay then. Huo Nianian put on a reluctant face, but inside she was absolutely thrilled. Yet I spoke up to refuse the very next moment. No, I don't want that. You're my girlfriend. Why won't you sleep with me? Under Huo Xiaoxiao's icy stare, Huo Nianian tried her best to act like a loving girlfriend. My second sister needs me for something. It is fine. You just sleep by yourself, okay? She gently soothed me, while a bit awkwardly tugging at my sleeve. No, I don't want to sleep apart from you. I can pull off this obnoxious cutesy act with ease. Second sister, just give me a moment. I'll come as soon as I've calmed Chen down. Jiu Nianian said to her second sister, then pulled me toward a corner. There are cameras in the house. We need to find a blind spot where they can't see us. All right, that is enough. Let's call it a night. Huo Nianian whispered, you did a good job acting. My second sister definitely hates you now. She didn't even object to me spending the night with you. Faced with her praise, I stayed silent for a few seconds. Well, thanks for the compliment, Miss Fourth. You acted pretty well yourself. Then I took out my phone and pulled up a QR code. Here. Add me as a friend. So we can stay in touch anytime, and so you can transfer money anytime. Huo Nianian pouted her little mouth. You really do love money. All you think about is money. But she didn't hesitate to add me as a friend. Well, you say that, but who doesn't love money? I smiled at her. Miss Four. You were born into wealth. You don't understand the hardships of ordinary people. Huo Nianian had already pegged me as that kind of man. She couldn't help but scold me. Even if you love money, you shouldn't sell your body and self-respect. I wanted to explain that she had misunderstood, but the words died on my lips. Because my gaze went past Huo Nianian, and I saw Huo Xiaoxiao standing not far away. She was staring at me expressionless. The hallway lights were a bit dim. She looked like a ghost lurking there, ready to take my life. In that moment I realized with perfect clarity, Huo Xiaoxiao was not going to let me off. Aren't you something? I stopped mid-sentence, piquing Huo Nianian's curiosity. Never mind. You're right to criticize me. A man like me, who has given up on himself, is truly the worst. I shifted my tone, agreeing with her. Huo Nianian is nothing like Huo Xiaoxiao. She is kind and good-hearted. To help the man she likes fit into the Huo family, she first smooths things over with her own family. When she later realizes she misjudged me, she'll probably feel a little guilty. Maybe I can use that guilt to my advantage then. Keep a way out for myself. Glad you know that, once this deal is done, the pay should be enough for you to change careers. Seeing that I was taking her advice, Huo Nianian felt a bit relieved. Then she noticed something off about my expression. What are you looking at? She was about to turn around, but I stopped her. Don't look. Your second sister is behind us. A hint of mischief flickered in my eyes. Miss Huo 4. Want to make your second sister hate me even more? I grabbed his shoulder and pinned him against the wall. Leaning in slowly, I said, Miss Huo, the fourth. Kiss me. He struggled, annoyed by my actions. Li Chen, I warned you. I'm a germaphobe. I spoke helplessly. It is a fake kiss, dummy. You can't even do that. We're dating, and you're crazy in love with me. Of course we'd kiss. Ji Yunianian glared at me in frustration. Who are you calling a dummy? But she still stood on her tiptoes and moved closer to me. As the distance closed, I could see her eyelashes trembling. She was clearly nervous. Being this shy makes it hard to win over your crush. I teased, embarrassed and angry. She squeezed her eyes shut. Shut up. And then stayed perfectly still. Miss Fourth, I don't think a fake kiss is enough. It'd be better to leave a real mark. What do you mean? Huo Nianian opened her eyes confused. I reached out and moved slightly toward her fair neck. It'll be quick. Please bear with it for your crush, Miss Fourth. That hurts. I carefully controlled the pressure and left a red mark on his neck. He kept holding himself back, barely managing not to push me away. All right, with this mark passing as a hickey. Your second sister won't suspect anything for now, I said, looking ahead again. Huo Xiao was no longer there. Huo Nianian touched her neck, looking like she wanted to say something but held back. You. Just this. Once. Don't do it again. But, in the end, she just snapped that one line. She went back to her room without looking back. I leaned against the wall, in no hurry to leave. In a way, Huo Nianian and I share the same goal. We both want Huo Xiao to truly dislike me. The more she dislikes me, the better. Mr. Li, would you like to rest now? The estate has many guest rooms. You can pick whichever you like. Or if you have a preferred style, I can have someone decorate it for you. Earlier, when Huo Nianian and I were being intimate, a few servants happened to see us. They immediately lowered their heads, not daring to disturb us. These 4 daughters of the Huo family lost their parents when they were young. They grew up relying on each other, and their bond is very strong. The Huo estate is their shared home. Aside from the eldest daughter's fiancé Ken, this is the first time someone has brought a boyfriend home. Even though it is the youngest of the Huo family, the most gentle-tempered 4th daughter, no one dared to underestimate me. I was a bit surprised, but quickly understood. As expected of a wealthy, powerful family, the rules here are really strict. So I replied to the servant, anything is fine, I'm not picky. Thank you for your help. Huo Nianian went all the way back to her room. After closing the door, she didn't rush to turn on the light. Instead, she leaned against the door and let out a long sigh, just like a bad boy who has been around the block. Did you two sleep together last night? A sudden female voice rang out. Startled, Huo Nianian turned on the light. She saw Huo Xiao standing by the window. Moonlight fell on her face, making her look deeply troubled. Second sister, you scared me. Why didn't you turn on the light? Huo Nianian took a few steps forward, then belatedly remembered the earlier question. Huo Nianian cleared her throat lightly. Second sister, aren't you being a little too nosy? Huo Xiao let out a cold snort. You two were about to ask me for bubblegum. Can't I even ask? Hearing this, Huo Nianian was a bit surprised. Was it just my imagination? When my sister said that, why did she sound like she was gritting her teeth? That, a Chen. He started to speak hesitantly, but was immediately scolded by Huo Xiao. Don't you dare say his name. Huo Nianian froze. Suppressing her inner delight, she said, do you really hate my boyfriend that much? Boyfriend and Ah Chen both grated on her ears. Huo Xiao turned her head to look at her sister. The next moment her pupils contracted. She stared fixedly at the red mark on her sister's neck. Vivid and striking, it seemed to remind her sister, and her, of what her boyfriend had done. Second sister, are you okay? Seeing her sister staring at her neck, Huo Nianian awkwardly adjusted her clothes. After a long moment, Huo Xiao responded with a forced smile. It is fine, just peachy. Huo Nianian thought her second sister seemed utterly miserable. She was probably still hung up on her ex-boyfriend. Ever since second sister returned to the capital 6 months ago, anytime she heard a whisper about her ex, no matter how busy she was, she'd drop everything and fly out personally to check it out. I even secretly asked third sister about it. What did third sister say back then? Your second sister's just lovesick. I think second sister must have met her soulmate. You're so young. You should be mindful of appearances. Huo Xiao suddenly blurted out this remark. She continued, seemingly out of concern for her sister. While you're still young, you'd better learn some restraint. You need to keep your distance from him, okay? Huo Nianian was completely baffled. Feeling a bit annoyed, she said, Second, sister, why are you acting like such a nag right now? Who are you calling a nag? Huo Xiao was somewhat irritated. I mean, this is your first relationship. You need to see him clearly. If things don't work out, it'll mess up your next one. This ridiculous logic. Even Huo Xiao couldn't stand hearing herself. But Huo Nianian trusted her sister and walked over with a smile, linking arms with her. She said playfully, Don't worry, sis. I'm not the kind of person who can't judge people. I'm pretty sharp, you know. Huo Xiaoxiao was silent for a moment, then asked the question weighing on her heart. How did you two start? Huo Nianian couldn't answer that, so she just changed the subject. Sis, don't be prejudiced against him. He is really special. I love him so much. Just like you love your ex. Huo Xiaoxiao said nothing. Huo Nianian could clearly sense her sister was in a bad mood tonight. Thinking it over, it seemed to have started when she ran into me and Li Chen. Even though I want my sister to hate Li Chen as much as possible, I don't want her worrying so much because of my personal life. Just as she was thinking, Huo Xiaoxiao suddenly stared straight at her, refuting Huo Nianian again and again. He is not my ex. We didn't break up. He is still my boyfriend. Huo Nianian couldn't help but suspect that bringing my boyfriend home suddenly had triggered my sister. Why is she lying to herself? A breakup isn't a divorce. Her one-sided refusal doesn't change anything. She kept those thoughts to herself and just played along. Okay, he is still your boyfriend. When we find him someday, I've got to get a good look at this mystery man who has got my sister lovesick. Huo Xiaoxiao opened her mouth. Should I tell my sister her boyfriend and my boyfriend are the same person? He denied it coldly. Who is lovesick over him? For a heartless, ungrateful man, does he even deserve it? Huo Nianian thought to herself. Second sister's stubborn mouth is the toughest thing about her. No wonder the boyfriend she had ran off. I need to learn from her mistake. Oh, by the way, second sister, what did you want to discuss with me? Huo Xiaoxiao froze for a moment. After some thought, she circled the topic back to me. Little 4, this is your first relationship, and I didn't want to discourage you, but this boyfriend of yours might not be as great as you think he is. Li Chen found someone new in just half a year, and now he is meeting the parents with you. He was ruthless enough to abandon me back then. What is to stop him from doing the same to you later? Huo Nianian was quite surprised. Second sister had already formed such a strong prejudice against Li Chen in such a short time. Second sister, Chen isn't perfect, and what about us? Are we so perfect? I know exactly what kind of person Chen is. Even if you don't like him, second sister, please, for my sake, tolerate him for a while. He said this with a solemn face, but inwardly he was grumbling. Once you all can't stand it anymore, my goal will be achieved. Then I can finally be with my dream guy. The next morning, I was heading downstairs for breakfast when I saw Huo Xiaoxiao in her loungewear, leaning at the end of the hallway with a cup of coffee, as if she'd been waiting specifically for me. A meaningful smile curled at the corner of Huo Xiaoxiao's mouth. Morning. Chen, did you sleep well last night? I had someone switch out your pillow for my favorite lavender one. Are you getting used to it? I stopped in my tracks. My tone was flat. You're very thoughtful, second miss, but I can sleep anywhere. No need to trouble yourself. He is starting with the gentle approach. Too bad. I'm not buying it. Huo Xiaoxiao's eyes darkened, but the smile quickly returned. She stepped forward, blocking my way. Trouble? How could it be? You're my sister's boyfriend, which makes you an honored guest of the Hua family. As her older sister, it is only natural I take good care of you. I sidestepped to avoid her. My tone was distant. I appreciate the gesture, second miss, but I have plans with Nianian to go to the school today. I don't have time to stay here and chat over coffee. Huo Xiaoxiao's smile froze. Her voice turned a few degrees colder. Going to school to see that campus heartthrob. I stopped walking. I glanced back at her. You're well-informed, second miss. Yeah. Nianian wants to see her crush. As her boyfriend, it is only right I help her out. Huo Xiaoxiao gripped her coffee cup tighter, yet her voice remained calm. You're quite devoted to your duties. The more she acts this way, the more I need to make her understand that I'm with Huo Nianian now. I'm not someone she can just mess with. My tone was polite but distant, just doing my job. Second, miss, I'm heading out now. I turned and walked away. Behind me, I heard Huo Xiaoxiao murmur, Li Chen, do you really have to treat me this way? I arrived at Huo Nianian's bedroom and saw her wearing a slightly schoolgirl-looking dress, standing in front of the mirror. Huo Nianian looked at me nervously. Do you think wearing this to see Lu Jingfei makes me look too childish? I leaned against the doorframe and gave her a quick glance. No, very good. Fresh and cute. Fits your college student vibe. But, if you want to leave a strong impression, I'd suggest changing your hairstyle. Huo Nianian looked at me completely puzzled. What kind of hairstyle? I stepped forward and casually tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. This gives you a more feminine touch. And besides, wearing some stud earrings would make you look more polished. Huo Nianian's body tensed up. Why are you suddenly so close? I said with a smile. Just helping you with your look. Part of my boyfriend duties. How? Feeling shy. Who is shy? Gu Nianian let out a soft snort. Go on. What else should I keep in mind? I pulled a slip of paper from my pocket and handed it to her. Here is the confession script I wrote for you. Memorize it. Remember, don't just blurt out your feelings right away. Start with common interests, like that recent competition he joined, then casually compliment how impressive he is, and finally ask him offhandedly, are you free to grab a meal this weekend? I'd like to ask you a few questions. Whoa. Nianian's eyes sparkled as she looked at me. You're way too professional at this. Did you use this trick a lot to chase girls before? I shot her a look. Cut the chatter. Go memorize your lines. You hired me with your money, so my only job is to help you win over your dream guy. Don't ask about anything else. Huo Nianian looked down at the slip of paper, muttering under her breath, why are you being so mean? But it actually seems pretty solid. That afternoon, Huo Nianian and I walked side by side across campus. Huo Nianian stood nervously to the side. Look over there, by the basketball court. Is that Lu Jingfei? I followed her gaze. It is him. He seems pretty aloof. Huo Nianian clenched her fists. Okay, I'm going in. I cheered her on. Go ahead. Remember the lines I taught you. Just be natural, don't be nervous. Huo Nianian walked toward Lu Jingfei. I leaned against a tree, ready to watch her show. Just then, I felt a burning gaze land on me. I instinctively turned to look back. Not far away, Huo Xiaoxiao was staring daggers at me. So she did follow us after all. Huo Xiaoxiao, you really haven't changed one bit. I pretended not to see her and kept looking in Huo Nianian's direction. The two of them exchanged a few words. Then Lu Jingfei stood up and walked away without looking back. I was just about to go comfort her when Huo Xiaoxiao suddenly grabbed my wrist from behind. Li Chen, do you really care about little Four that much? I replied flatly. Second, miss, you're following me. Huo Xiaoxiao didn't answer, but asked instead. I'm asking you, do you actually have feelings for her? Do you really want to be her boyfriend? I forcefully shook off her hand, my tone tinged with impatience. Second, miss, get this straight. I am Nianian's boyfriend now. Me caring about her. Isn't that what I'm supposed to do? It has nothing to do with you. Huo Xiaoxiao was completely enraged by my words, her eyes reddening. None of your business. Li Chen, doesn't your conscience hurt when you say that? A sharp pain shot through my heart, but my face remained cold and hard. Is there any point in talking about this now? Huo Xiaoxiao, we ended a long time ago. Tears finally fell from Huo Xiaoxiao's eyes. Ended. I don't agree. Li Chen, I admit when I first approached you, it was because of that damn bet. But later on, I completely forgot about the bet. I truly fell in love with you. Don't you know? For these 193 days I've thought about where you were. Day and night. If you were eating properly, if you ever thought of me. Looking at her tear-streaked face, my resolve wavered uncontrollably. I know. Her words were true. The pain in her eyes was real. But thinking back to what I overheard in that private room, my heart hardened again. Miss Huo, the one you fell for, was the Li Chen who thought you were just a poor girl. Are you sure you love the real me? Or the imaginary gold digger who didn't want your money? Huo Xiaoxiao froze. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. I turned my head away, refusing to look at her anymore. Let's stop here, Huo Xiaoxiao. What we had ended a long time ago. I turned and walked toward Huo Nianian. Huo Xiaoxiao stood there watching my back. Tears slid silently down her face. You jerk. Who gave you the right to decide for me? Late at night, I lay in bed, tossing and turning, unable to sleep. My mind was filled with the image from earlier that day, of Huo Xiaoxiao crying. I truly fell in love with you. The scene kept replaying. Just then my phone buzzed. It was a message from Huo Nianian. I found out Lu Jingfei is participating in a national academic competition next week at the convention center downtown. I want to go cheer him on, but I don't know how to get close to him. Do you have any more ideas? I typed back. Yeah, I'll go with you. I'll help create an opportunity for you when we're there. Really, you're the best. I want to make some cheer banners to bring. Help me out. I replied with a goodnight sticker and resigned myself to sitting at my desk. Here I am, hired to play a role, and I'm more invested than a real boyfriend. And Huo Nianian hasn't even caught the campus heartthrob yet, but she has already got me the fake running in circles. Still, she is paying real money, and I'm selling my time and effort. Fair enough. After finishing the banners, I stretched and caught a glimpse of a slender figure in the doorway. Huo Xiaoxiao, up in the middle of the night, sneaking peeks at me doing crafts for another woman. That afternoon, in the estate's living room, Huo Nianian was bouncing around with the banners I made. Huo Xiaoxiao came down the stairs. Second sister, look what a Chen made. They're even nicer than custom ones. Huo Xiaoxiao's gaze swept over me. He stayed up all night for these. For my birthday he just wrote a sticky note. Now, he is so attentive to Nianian. He has really fallen for her. Mr. Li, such deep devotion. You flatter me. Second miss. I smiled slightly. Nianian is my girlfriend. Of course, I'm devoted. Huo Xiaoxiao stepped closer. You're pretty quick with the pet names. Second sister, why are you picking on a Chen? He didn't do anything to you. Huo Xiaoxiao sneered. I'm picking on her. I'm just afraid you're being fooled. Some people specifically target rich girls. First, they dump the older sister. Then they sweet-talk the younger one. Same script. Two different shows. My brow twitched slightly. She is jealous. Huo Nianian raised her voice. Say that again and I'll be mad. I know what kind of person he is. Huo Xiaoxiao stared at him. You know? I hope you won't come crying to me later. Dinner time. Huo Xiaoxiao opened a bottle of red wine, one glass after another. She didn't hide her gaze toward me at all. Huo Nianian raised an eyebrow. Second, sister, you've had too much to drink. Why do you keep staring at a Chen? Huo Xiaoxiao swirled the glass in her hand. Li Chen, was the word social climber invented just for you? Huo Nianian slammed down her chopsticks. Do you have to be like this? What did a Chen ever do to you? Huo Xiaoxiao stood up, stumbling slightly. Because he is not good enough for you. Because he is the man I loved for half a year. The one I searched for 193 days. Huo Xiaoxiao turned and left. The sound of her high heels felt like it was pounding on my heart. I watched her retreating figure. Is she angry at me? Or angry at herself for accepting fate? After dinner, I took a walk in the back garden. Muffled sobs came from near the swing set. Huo Xiaoxiao was holding a half-empty bottle of red wine. Who is there? Li Chen, have you come to laugh at me? I walked over and sat on a stone bench. You've had way too much to drink. She tilted her head back and took a swig, choking and coughing violently. Am I ridiculous? Proud and haughty by day, crying here at night. Are you happy now, Chen? Those 6 months with you were the happiest of my life, and then you dumped me. My Adam's apple bobbed. But that is he even worthy outside the private room? That was real too. The thorn is still there. I spoke coldly. Those things you said back then, I heard them. That private room. You said I wasn't worthy. Said you'd had your fun and could pass me off. No, that was them egging me on. You didn't deny it though, did you? I cut him off. He didn't say anything else. I took off my jacket and draped it over his shoulders. Just stayed quietly by his side like that. He cried himself out. Handed the jacket back to me. Thank you. Let's head back. Don't let Nian see. The day of the competition, the convention center was packed. I helped Huo Nian carry that bag of cheering supplies and the thermos she'd specially prepared. Nian, what did you put in this soup? Goji berries, red dates, snow fungus. I studied recipes for 3 days, specifically for throat care. 3 days. I raised an eyebrow. You usually can't even order takeout. Huo Nian glared at me. No, I can't, but I can learn. For him, I'm willing to learn anything. I sighed silently. When we get there, you hand it to him yourself. I'll cover for you on the side. Relax. Don't just throw yourself at him right away. Just hand him the drink, like normal. Just say, thanks for your hard work. Huo Nianian took a deep breath. I know you taught me this. I just gave a nod. Go ahead. Don't let 3 days of research go to waste. Huo Nianian gripped the thermos tightly and walked toward the contestants' entrance. I watched her from a distance. Is Huo Nianian really brave or just naive? Actually, I think I'm even more foolish. I clearly dumped Huo Xiaoxiao, yet here I am walking right into the lion's den. When Huo Nianian reached Lu Jingfei, she held out the thermos. I made this herbal soup for you. Good luck with the competition. Your throat's always been a bit rough, hasn't it? This is really good for your voice. For the first time, Lu Jingfei didn't refuse her outright. He took the thermos, unscrewed the lid and took a sip. You made this specially. Huo Nianian nodded. Her eyes were sparkling like stars. I spent 3 days researching it. Is it okay? The corner of Lu Jingfei's mouth twitched slightly. It is okay. A little sweet. Hey. I'll use less rock sugar next time. Huo Nianian was so happy she almost jumped for joy. I couldn't help but smile a little. It looked like this girl was finally making progress. 99 rejections. Maybe the 100th time will be the turning point. But before I could feel happy for Huo Nianian, Huo Xiaoxiao walked over from nearby. Little 4. What are you doing here? Huo Nianian was still basking in the joy that Lu Jingfei was willing to talk to her, and the smile on her face instantly froze. Second sister, what are you doing here? I'm here to take you home. Let's go. Little 4. How could you just leave your boyfriend there by himself? Lu Jingfei followed Huo Xiaoxiao's gaze and looked at me. So she has a boyfriend? Lu Jingfei pulled his gaze back. The match is about to start. I'll be going now. Huo Nianian desperately wanted to chase after him. Second sister, I wasn't done talking to Jingfei. You're done now. He has to go to his match. You need to head back. Just like that. Huo Xiaoxiao casually cut off the conversation that Huo Nianian had worked so hard to get. Watching all this from a distance, I sighed inwardly. Your talent for ruining things hasn't changed one bit. I found her outside the venue, Huo Nianian sitting on the steps. She was clutching the thermos, looking all wrong. Li Chen, second sister went way too far. I finally got to talk to Lu Jingfei, and she just showed up and dragged me away. She even told him I have a boyfriend. But you're only pretending because I hired you. Huo Nianian's eyes were a little red. I sat down beside her. Huo Nianian, don't let your second sister get to you. Lu Jingfei's attitude toward you has changed. That is a good thing. Next time, I'll help set up a chance for you. You can just explain everything to Lu Jingfei in person. Huo Nianian nodded. Okay. After taking Huo Nianian back to the estate, I went to Huo Xiaoxiao's private apartment. Huo Xiaoxiao was clearly startled when she saw me. What are you doing here? I walked inside and sat right down on the sofa. Huo Xiaoxiao, how did you end up like this? I just can't stand seeing you be nice to her. Li Chen, Can you please not be so cruel? I admit it, I'm jealous, but I just can't take it when you're gentle with someone else. That gentleness is something you never gave me. Without thinking, I reached out my hand and wiped away the tear that was about to fall from the corner of her eye. Huo Xiaoxiao slowly leaned closer. Ah, Chen. I closed my eyes for a second and forced myself to step back. Chen still cares about me. I stood up and walked to the door. Huo Xiaoxiao. If you really can't let me go, then stop taking it out on Nianian. She hasn't done anything wrong. She just fell for someone. That is all. On the drive back to the estate, my hand still carried the warmth of her cheek. Li Chen. You shouldn't have softened. She lied to you. You were just a bet to her. But seeing her tears, my heart ached so much. The next day, I went downstairs for breakfast. There was an extra thermos on the dining table with a sticky note next to it. Bad stomach, cut back on the coffee. I opened the thermos. It was millet porridge inside. A name surfaced in my mind. Hua Xiao. Xiao. She knows I have a weak stomach. During those 6 months we were together, every time I worked late and forgot to eat, she'd bring me a bowl of porridge, always the perfect temperature. Back then, I thought she was just a sweet poor girl. This porridge still tastes exactly the same. Huo Xiao, what am I supposed to do with you? I passed by Huo Nianian's room on my way upstairs. Miss Huo, the 4th. Next competition, I'll find out the time for you in advance. You can tell Lu Jingfei face to face that you're single. Once the misunderstanding is cleared up, his attitude will only get better. Really? Huo Nianian's eyes lit up. She suddenly leaned in and lowered her voice. Oh, right. Second sister was so weird today. She was busy in the kitchen early this morning and even locked the door so the staff couldn't get in. I touched the sticky note in my pocket. This bowl of porridge. This little note. This woman who didn't want to be found out. How can I let you go? That evening, Huo Xiaoxiao found me in the back garden. She was holding a paper bag. There is something I want to tell you in person. Then you can decide if you still want to hate me. I nodded. Okay. I went with her to her private apartment. She placed the paper bag on the coffee table. She stared at me intently. Li Chen, no matter what you think after hearing this, I'll accept it. Go ahead. She opened the paper bag. The first item was a men's ring. I bought this the day before my birthday. My original plan was to tell you the truth about who I am and then propose to you. Propose. My mind went blank for a second. She looked at the ring and nodded. I measured your finger to have it custom made. The clerk said it would be ready in 3 days. I thought I could tell you everything in 3 days. And then put it on your finger myself and officially be with you. But before I could say a word, you disappeared. The second item was a stack of chat screenshots. I blocked all of them. I never contacted them again. The timestamps were right after I left that night. I looked at Huo Xiaoxiao's face. Somewhere inside the ice began to thaw. She continued, that night you just believed it. You didn't come to confront me. You just sentenced me to death. And then you disappeared. I put the screenshots down. I was silent for a long time before I spoke. Huo Xiaoxiao, I believe what you're saying. When I left back then, it wasn't just because you lied to me. It was because my pride couldn't take it. Being treated like a bet. Being watched and judged by a group of people saying I wasn't good enough for you. Whether it was just bravado or not. I heard it. So to me it was real. I really wasn't good enough. Those friends of yours weren't wrong. I'm just an ordinary guy. And you're the second daughter of the Hu family. That is the real reason I left. So you dumped me. Not entirely because I lied to you, but because you felt you weren't good enough. Huh. It was both. The lie was the surface reason, not being good enough was the deeper reason. I was too young back then. I heard those words, and just exploded. I never stopped to think why you would want to be with someone who wasn't good enough for you, and even piss off all your friends for him. I only imagined the worst, and chose the cruelest way to leave. I was impulsive. I shouldn't have just left you on the street. Huo Xiaoxiao looked at me, tears streaming down her face, and took out the last item, a handwritten letter. Li Chen, if you're reading this, it means I've finally found you. That initial joke was never a joke. I love you. From the first day you seriously cooked a meal for me. From the time you realized I couldn't order takeout and patiently taught me how. From the time you ran 3 blocks in the rain to get me medicine. The bet ended long ago, but my feelings for you didn't. I was going to confess everything on your birthday, propose to you, and start over with you. But you never gave me that chance. I was the one who burned that bridge. You were never a bet to me. You were the person I wanted to marry. The date at the end was 3 days after I disappeared. After reading it, most of my resentment faded. Huo Xiao, I'm sorry. Let's just interact normally from now on. Back at the estate, Hua Nianian was grinning at her phone. I sat down next to her and asked, what has got you so happy? She waved her phone at me. Lu Jingfei added me as a friend. He went to the library today to look up some stuff, and I happened to be there too. I told him I'm single and asked if he could teach me that algorithm from the last competition. He said yes, and then he added me himself. I smiled. Keep it up. Don't rush into confessing. Just chat normally. Let things warm up gradually. Huo Nianian nodded. Oh, by the way, second sister had someone save you some porridge. Doesn't she hate you? Why would she suddenly send you porridge? I cleared my throat. She probably knows I have a weak stomach. Huo Nianian looked at me suspiciously. Chen, what exactly is your relationship with my second sister? I froze for a second. What relationship could I possibly have with her? It is so weird. Second sister would have someone bring you porridge. She seems to especially dislike you. I even saw second sister smile at you. My second sister never smiles at guys. My mind raced. Nianian, your second sister used to dislike me, and now she is not targeting me anymore, so you just think she has changed. Don't overthink it. But second sister used to be cold to everyone. Yet she is so different with you. I think your second sister is probably just being nice to me because of you. Because you're her little sister, and I'm your boyfriend. Guo Nianian didn't seem entirely convinced. All right then. I smiled. Don't worry, I'm very professional. I have to speed things up between him and Lu Jingfei. Keep all his attention locked on chasing someone, so he has no time to wonder about me and his second sister. Next, I sorted out Lu Jingfei's class schedule, club activities and places he often goes. Huo Nianian sends a message. Send. Lu Jingfei studies on the 3rd floor of the library Wednesday afternoons. Send. Bring 2 coffees when you go. Keep 1 for yourself, and casually hand him the other. Just say it is to thank him for helping you with algorithms last time. You just grabbed it on a whim. Hand it over and leave. Let him start the conversation. Don't talk too much. Huo Nianian replies instantly. Got it. What should I wear? Just something casual. Don't dress up on purpose. Wednesday afternoon. Huo Nianian messages me. He talked to me for 20 minutes. He initiated it. He asked what direction I'm picking for my thesis topic and recommended 2 books. Good. Keep this pace steady. Don't get too excited yet. Saturday's Academic Forum. Sign up for it too. It is a formal event. You can discuss academic topics with him. It'll be more substantial than a library run. And prepare a few questions about his research area. Nothing too deep. Just make sure he can answer them easily. The key is to make him think you're serious and thoughtful. Friday evening. Huo Nianian suddenly comes to see me. I keep feeling like my second sister has been acting weird lately. The way she looks at me recently is gentle and guilty. That is not like her at all. I know exactly what is going on. She is probably reflecting on how she messed things up before and feels like she was too harsh on you. You're totally fine. Don't overthink it. Focus on Saturday's forum. Don't let the stuff with Huo Xiao distract you. He nods. All right. I'll focus on the forum for now. During the break at Saturday's academic forum, Huo Nianian stands next to Lu Jingfei, that model you mentioned earlier. I looked up some related literature. There are a few directions we could expand on. Lu Jingfei looked at her with surprise. I read the 2 books you recommended. The algorithm framework in them can be combined with the model you mentioned. A smile tugged at Lu Jingfei's lips. You read pretty fast. Interest is the best motivation. Oh right. Have you decided on your thesis topic? Huo Nianian shook her head. No. I'm still torn. Lu Jingfei pitched an idea to her. You could consider intersecting with my research direction. I have some data on hand that you can use. Huo Nianian looked at him, her eyes sparkling. Really? Lu Jingfei nodded. Of course, I'll send you the materials next time. I breathed a sigh of relief. Back at the estate, Huo Xiao said as she brushed past me. Nianian has been really happy lately. That is thanks to you. No, it is because she is diligent herself. I just helped her find the right direction. You helped her find the right direction. What about me? What have you helped me find? I froze for a second. You don't need me to help you find anything. You've already set your own path. At the dinner table, Huo Nianian suddenly looked up. Her second sister, you've been way nicer to Chen lately. Have you finally accepted him? Huo Xiao glanced at me. I wouldn't say accepted. I just don't dislike him anymore. Huo Nianian pressed on, puzzled. Why? Because he genuinely cares about you. Someone who cares about you that much. I have no reason to keep disliking him. That was a very tactful answer. She pinned the reason on Huo Nianian. But second sister, you always say men are nothing but trouble. Why make an exception for a Chen? The living room fell silent for a second. I quickly changed the subject. Huo Nianian, how far did you get with your extended outline? You're meeting Lu Jingfei to discuss it tomorrow, so you need to finish it tonight. His attention got pulled away. I still have the last part to do. I have a business meeting tomorrow, so I'm heading to bed first. Huo Nianian muttered offhandedly. It's just a project collaboration. Does my sister really need to handle it herself? I asked around indirectly. What project? I think it's that thing in the south side of the city. The Beigang Group project probably. I can't quite remember. My sister's been tied up with it lately. I nodded and didn't ask any more. But I felt a little uneasy for no clear reason. That south side commercial area is pretty rough. Huo Xiao is tough, but some situations can't be handled by sheer presence alone. I pulled out my phone and looked up Beigang Group. It was nothing but warning posts. Beigang Group was nothing but warning posts. Nothing but warning posts. The owner of Beigang Group is a guy named Zhao, notorious in the industry for being difficult. He doesn't play by the rules, and he likes to strong-arm people into giving in. Early the next morning, I grabbed my car keys and headed out. When I got to the parking lot, I could tell something was off. Huo Xiaoxiao's car seemed to be blocked in for the moment. In the office building lobby, Huo Xiaoxiao stood at the end of the hallway, with 5 men standing in front of her. Miss Huo. I, Mr. Zhao, have invested 3 years in this project. Your Hu family, suddenly stepping in, isn't exactly playing fair, is it? Business is about strength, not first come, first served. Beigang hasn't made any real progress in 3 years. The whole family getting involved is just normal competition. Mr. Zhao, cornering me like this to talk business isn't very classy, is it? Haha, Miss Huo II, why don't you just give up this project? We can offer you other compensation. Let's all make money and stay friendly. Huo Xiaoxiao's gaze turned sharp. I only play by the rules. Rules? This is my turf. I make the rules here. He stepped forward as he spoke, forcing Huo Xiaoxiao to press flat against the wall. Miss Huo II, coming to my turf alone to talk business. Aren't you a little too confident? Or did you simply not take me, Zhao, seriously at all? A flicker of panic crossed Huo Xiaoxiao's mind. Just then I walked into the lobby. Mr. Zhao, let's talk business properly, shall we? What is all this about? Mr. Zhao squinted at me. Who are you? I walked over to Huo Xiaoxiao's side, turning sideways to shield her from Mr. Zhao. I'm her partner. Mr. Zhao looked me over. Young man, you don't look like you're here for business. I gave a slight smile. Then let's skip the business talk. Mr. Zhao, cornering a woman like this. Are you doing something illegal here? Mr. Zhao's expression changed. Kid, you'd better watch your mouth. I'm just discussing business with President Huo. I leaned in closer to him. Mr. Zhao, you're restricting her freedom of movement. I've already checked. There are 4 cameras nearby that can see us right now. What do you think will happen if I call the police? You think I, Zhao, scare that easily? Mr. Zhao, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just giving you a heads up. Do you know why your project has made no progress in 3 years? It is because of your approach. No one wants to work with you. If you really want to make money, why don't we sit down and talk it through? What do you say? Young man, you've got guts. Miss Huo II, let's just call today a misunderstanding. We'll talk another time. He took a step back. He turned and left with his people. I had just breathed a sigh of relief when Huo Xiaoxiao behind me grabbed my arm. Li Chen, thank you. I turned back to look at him. No need to thank me. I was just passing by. Huo Xiaoxiao's lips trembled slightly. He wanted to say something, but then he noticed a red mark on my arm. Ah, you're hurt. I glanced at the wound. It must have been when Boss Zhao pushed me away just now. One of his guys gave me a shove on the way out, and I scraped against the metal trim along the hallway. It is nothing, just a scratch. Huo Xiaoxiao took out a handkerchief and gently pressed it against my wound. My throat felt a little dry. Really, it is fine. He looked up at me. Li Chen, why are you always like this? You're clearly the one who is hurt, but you say it is nothing. You clearly came looking for me, but you say you were just passing by. Can you just tell me the truth for once? I stayed silent for a long time. Then I said something honest. Huo Xiaoxiao, you shouldn't have to face something like this alone. Coming out to negotiate business without bringing anyone that is not right. So you came all the way here to protect me. Yes, I paused for a moment because I can't stand it. Knowing you're in a place like this and just letting you face it alone. I can't do that. Tears fell from Huo Xiaoxiao's eyes. Li Chen, there is only you in my heart. From beginning to end, it has only ever been you. Huo Xiaoxiao, I thought I hated you. I thought I'd never look back. I thought I could start over. But I never really let you go. I just refused to admit it. He smiled, and I reached out to wipe the tears from his face. From now on, don't come to a place like this alone for business. He replied softly. Okay, let's go. Let's head back and take care of that wound first. Huo Nianian watched the two of us return together, her eyes darting between me and Huo Xiaoxiao. Whoa. How did you get hurt? I cleared my throat lightly. Just scraped it by accident. That wound doesn't look like a scrape to me. I changed the subject. Have you finished analyzing Lu Jingfei's files? His attention was immediately diverted. Yeah, he even said my analytical approach was pretty good. Good, keep it up. He nodded and left. That night, as I lay in bed, my phone buzzed. A message from Huo Xiaoxiao. Does the wound still hurt? No. Then wait for you to really look at me. Lu Jingfei was silent for a few seconds, then said something that made Huo Nianian's heart skip a beat. The 100th time, no need to confess again. Because I'm saying yes. Huo Nianian's eyes widened. What? Lu Jingfei looked at her seriously. Huo Nianian, I used to think we were from different worlds. You're too passionate, and I'm too reserved. I was afraid of being overwhelmed by your enthusiasm, but after spending time together these past few times, I've realized you're someone truly worth getting close to. So, Huo Nianian, I'm willing to be with you. Huo Nianian's eyes lit up. Thank you. You finally see me. Lu Jingfei reached out his hand. Huo Nianian placed her hand in his. At night, Huo Nianian messaged me. Ach, Lu Jingfei is with me now. He was the one who brought it up. I didn't confess this time. He said, after 99 confessions, the 100th time, he said yes. Huh. Congrats Nianian, you did it. Li Chen, thanks for your help. I replied, no need to thank me. I meant it. You shine bright. Yeah, I'll keep working hard. I finally felt a sense of relief deep down. Huo Nianian and Lu Jingfei are together now. His attention will be completely locked on her. He won't have time to dig into my relationship with Huo Xiaoxiao anymore. But the fake relationship contract between me and Huo Nianian should be over now. Right? Liar. It hurts a little. I'll change your bandages tomorrow. You know how to change bandages. For you I can learn anything. My heart skipped a beat. The next morning, there was another thermos on the dining table. The note now read, wait for me to change your bandages. I finished the porridge, folded the note, and slipped it into my pocket. I found a guest room without surveillance cameras and sent him a message. 3rd floor, East Wing, room 306. He replied. 5 minutes later, Huo Xiaoxiao walked in, carrying a medical kit in his hand. Watching his clumsy movements, my heart melted completely. After he finished, he looked up at me. All done. Thank you. I said quietly. She shook her head gently. No need to thank me. This is something I wanted to do. I let out a soft laugh. Is this, like, a date? Saturday afternoon. Huo Nianian waited for Lu Jingfei at the library. The two sat in a corner quietly discussing an academic question. After reading it, Lu Jingfei said, your thinking is very clear. I can tell you've put in a lot of work. Huo Nianian's heart beat faster. Thank you. Do you think this direction is feasible? Lu Jingfei looked at Huo Nianian with admiration. And that algorithm framework you proposed. I hadn't thought of it before. I thought you were just some fangirl chasing after me. I didn't expect you were actually thinking deeply. Huo Nianian smiled. I do think before I chase someone. It is just that my previous approach wasn't very smart. The corner of Lu Jingfei's mouth twitched. 99 confessions. Yeah, not very smart. Huo Nianian froze for a second. Then she laughed. Yeah, 99 times, not very smart. But for the 100th time, I changed my approach. I decided to seriously be myself. Early one morning, Huo Nianian came to find me. Chen, from now on, our contract is over. There is something I have to do. I frowned. What is it? I need to come clean with second sister, he said with a serious face. I asked, have you thought this through? He nodded. I've thought it through. I'm already with Lu Jingfei. I don't need a fake boyfriend anymore. Second sister has been feeling guilty ever since last time. She deserves to know the truth. You two should talk it out, I said with a smile. What do we have to talk about? Huo Nianian looked at me. Li Chen, do you and second sister take me for an idiot? Second sister's ex-boyfriend is named Li Chen, and your name is also Li Chen. The night he backed into a lamppost, the night you showed up at the estate, him barging into your bathroom, and he even made you porridge himself. I'm not blind. You are my second sister's ex-boyfriend, the man she just can't get over. I was silent for a moment. I didn't mean to keep it from you. Please don't be mad. My head is full of Lu Jingfei. I can't keep up with your love-hate drama. But second sister has spent the last 6 months living like a zombie because of you. Since you're back, don't leave again. I'll go find her. Wait here. Huo Nianian knocked on Huo Xiaoxiao's bedroom door. She got straight to the point. Second, sister, Li Chen is a fake boyfriend I hired. The cup in Huo Xiaoxiao's hand froze midair. Huo Nianian walked over to her. I paid Li Chen 10 million. He acted. I paid. It was all fake from start to finish. There was nothing between us. Just now, our contract ended. Second sister, you don't have to feel guilty about me anymore. Now you can have a real talk with Li Chen. Huo Xiaoxiao set down the cup. She was silent for 3 seconds. Little four, you already knew, didn't you? Huo Nianian shook her head. At first I wasn't sure, but later you two stopped hiding it at all. Second sister, can you two get back together? Huo Xiaoxiao's eyes lit up. We will. He has me in his heart, and I have him in mine. We'll definitely work things out. I really didn't know Li Chen was your boyfriend. I was just so fed up with being pressured to get married, and brother Jingfei wouldn't agree to be with me, so I just hired someone. Second sister, don't blame him, and don't blame me either. He has always been in it for the money. I know that. How could I possibly blame him? As for you, little sister, I can't thank you enough. You brought him back to me. Hehe. Second sister, then I sincerely wish you and Li Chen all the best. Huo Xiaoxiao reached out and hugged her. Little sister. Huo Nianian patted her gently. You're my sister. Your happiness makes me happy too. Oh, by the way, second sister, one more thing. You should tell the family about your past with Li Chen. Li Chen should be able to be a part of our family openly and honestly. Hiding things will only make the elders more suspicious of him. It is better to just lay it all out. Let them see the whole truth. Huo Xiaoxiao thought it over. Tomorrow let's invite the elders over to talk. The next day, Huo Xiaoxiao stood in the middle of the living room. Uncles, I'm here today to officially clarify 2 things. First, Li Chen and Nianian were never a real couple. He was hired. The contract has ended. Second, Li Chen is the ex-boyfriend I've been searching for 193 days. Back then, I hid my identity to get close to him. He left after he found out. The misunderstanding is now cleared up. We're going to be together. Third, Uncle Hua Xiao Xiao. He first pretended to be Nianian's boyfriend, and now he wants to be with you. Are you sure this guy isn't playing both sides? Hua Xiao Xiao shook her head. He didn't deceive Nianian. Nianian hired him on her own, and he didn't actively pursue me. I was the one looking for him all along. He had no idea from start to finish. Eldest Uncle Huo. This man's background is a mystery, and he doesn't have a stable income. No. Huo Xiaoxiao argued her case. When he was with me, he didn't know I'm the second daughter of the Huo family. He thought I was a poor girl drowning in debt. He supported me with his salary, cooked for me, took care of me. Back then, I was the one who lied to him. I hid my identity and used him as a bet. I hurt him. He didn't leave because he stopped loving me. It was because his pride couldn't take it. Being judged by a group of people told he wasn't good enough for me. He felt he wasn't worthy, so he ran away. Now he is back. Not for the money, not for the Huo family, but for me. Huo Nianian stood up. Elders. Li Chen was very respectful of boundaries during our contract. He helped me win over Lu Jingfei and never crossed the line. His feelings for my sister are genuine too. You've all seen how much pain she has been in lately. You've all witnessed it. Now she is finally smiling again. Are you going to keep them apart because of his background? At that moment, I walked into the main hall. The elders' eyes fell on me. Third Uncle Huo spoke up and asked, Li Chen, one question, what is your plan for the future? After I left, I started an online studio. The income is stable. I won't depend on the Hua family. I won't use the Huo family to climb the ladder. I'll use my own abilities to reach a position where I can stand by his side. He won't have to lower his standard of living. Uncle Huo let out a sigh. All right. One condition. Li Chen, you must make Xiao Xiao happy. I nodded solemnly. I promise. Stepping out of the main hall, the sun was shining bright. Xiao Xiao stopped and looked at me. Boyfriend, welcome back. You're mine again. I smiled. Yeah. Took a huge detour and ended up right back here. He tilted his head and looked at me. Li Chen, what exactly have you been doing these past 6 months? I checked your moments, your social media accounts. Couldn't find a single thing. I sighed, because I deleted all my accounts. After I got to Jing City, I rented a small apartment by myself. The first 2 months I didn't do much. Just lay around. Didn't feel like doing anything. My mind was blank. I felt completely empty. Later, my childhood buddy couldn't stand it anymore. Dragged me out for drinks. Halfway through the night he asked me, what do you actually want to do? I don't know. Then stop overthinking. Just start doing something, anything. So I started learning programming, self-taught coding during the day. Taking freelance projects at night. Started with small gigs, just a few $100 each. Eventually built up a client base. Word of mouth started spreading. Registered a web studio 3 months ago. Now we've got a team of 5, mainly building websites and mini programs for small and medium businesses. Monthly revenue around 300 to 400K. Not huge, but enough to get by in Jing City. I don't have to depend on anyone. Don't have to depend on the Hua family. I can stand by your side fair and square. In those 3 months, did you ever think of me? Every single day I thought of you. I just couldn't admit it. And what about now? Now you're finally admitting it. Huo Xiaoxiao, the 6 months after I left, weren't carefree months. They were empty months. My mind was full of you. My words were all about hating you. The first thing every morning was wondering where you were. The last thing every night was worrying if you'd eaten properly. Now everything should get back on track. I finally know how you spent these 6 months. He looked at me quietly. You weren't doing well. I wasn't doing well either. 2 fools took 193 days to admit it. So stupid. Utterly stupid. But we're not stupid anymore. Now we're together, fair and square. No more emptiness from now on, and no more hiding. Never again. I reached out my hand. She placed her hand in mine, fingers intertwined. Huo Xiaoxiao pulled me along, ready to go on a date. We ran right into Huo Nianian, arm in arm with Lu Jingfei. Both were holding freshly printed thesis materials. Second sister, brother Lycan, Jingfei and I have finalized our graduation thesis topic. Thanks so much for helping me sort out my ideas earlier. Lu Jingfei smiled gently and nodded at me. Thanks for the guidance you gave back then. Nianian is really grounded and serious about her studies now. We've agreed to go to grad school together after graduation. Huo Xiaoxiao ruffled her sister's hair. Finally, I don't have to wait for your 100th reckless confession. Now it is a steady mutual journey toward each other. If I hadn't paid Brother Lycan to pretend to be my boyfriend back then, I wouldn't have settled down to be myself, and I certainly wouldn't have brought you two together. I'll consider that 10 million an investment in second sister, happiness. Totally worth it. Remember that boss Zhao from the south side who gave Huo Xiaoxiao a hard time? Boss Zhao from the south side. What happened next? Beigang Group used despicable tactics, maliciously blockaded businesses, and ran illegal development projects. I compiled all the evidence and submitted it to the regulatory authorities. His projects were all suspended. His company went under from the debt. He paid the price for his arrogance. Guess he got what he deserved. Oh, and those girls who bet on our relationship. They came from ordinary families but kept trying to one-up each other. They fell out with each other pretty quickly and never spoke again. Hearing all that, I finally felt completely at ease. Every knot I'd been holding in my heart just melted away. All the past messes were finally settled. The good people found their place, and the bad ones reaped what they sowed. After dinner, only the two of us were left at the estate. The evening breeze brushed past the garden swing. Huo Xiaoxiao leaned against my shoulder and spoke softly. Before, my uncle and my third uncle were worried you didn't have any family money. They were afraid I'd end up struggling with you. But now they've seen your studio's revenue, and they've seen with their own eyes that I can't live without you. They don't have a single word of objection anymore. I wrapped my arm around her waist, feeling an extraordinary sense of peace. My studio is running steadily now. I don't need to rely on the Hua family's share. You won't have to hide your identity on purpose anymore. We won't have to sneak around. If we want to go shopping, see a movie, or take a short trip, we can do it all out in the open tomorrow. Let me take you to see the studio. My team is really curious to see the person who has been on my mind for half a year. Can I put that ring on now? Huo Xiaoxiao looked up at me, her eyes brimming with starlight. I took the other woman's ring from my pocket and gently knelt down on one knee. I held her left hand. No grand spectacle, just the gentle moonlight in the courtyard. The confession I missed making back then. The honesty that came too late. I'm making it all up today. I was stubborn and oversensitive before. I overlooked your true feelings. For the rest of my life, through every meal and every season, I'll shelter you from every storm. I'll never let you be sad and alone again, or face danger by yourself. Huo Xiaoxiao. Will you spend the rest of your life with me? I am. I've wanted to ever since the day I met you. The ring slid securely onto her finger. I stood and pulled her into my arms. Soft footsteps sounded behind us. I turned and saw Huo Nianian and Lu Jingfei quietly standing under the eaves, smiling and making a heart sign at us. Hua Xiaoxiao buried her face against my chest and murmured softly, "Look." Nianian and Lu Jingfei found their way to each other, and we moved past our misunderstandings and made things right. All the regrets have been set right. The private room table was filled with home-style dishes that weekend. I sat beside Huo Xiaoxiao, my fingertips resting lightly on the back of her hand the whole time. Across from us, Huo Nianian sat close to Lu Jingfei. Next week, we're both going to that academic conference. Lu Jingfei patiently picked the chili peppers out of her dish. Huo Xiaoxiao smiled and ladled a bowl of millet porridge for my stomach. I still remember how you used to get so busy you'd forget to eat. Thanks, Xiaoxiao. Lu Jingfei raised his glass to me on his own. Thanks for helping Nianian figure things out back then. Huo. Nianian egged us on. CSU and Chen should set a wedding date soon. Huo Xiaoxiao's ears turned pink as she leaned into me. Outside the window, the night was soft, and the table was full of laughter. Each couple had their own quiet happiness. All the old misunderstandings and push and pull had faded away, leaving only this warm, perfect moment, right now.